The January 11th, 2023, meeting of the Arlington County Board of Zoning Appeals is now in session. Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Arlington County Board of Zoning Appeals, which is also known as the BZA. I changed this for Judy, and so it is incorrect. My name is Lindsay Arthurs. I am chair of the board. The board is made up of 5 citizens appointed by the circuit court. In addition to myself, we have Vice Chair Judy Freshman and board members Inta Malice, Portia Clark, and Richard Catlin. I'm doing this on the fly, so if I mess it up, I'm very sorry. Also present are the professional staff: Blake Bowen, Meg Ryan, Stephen Rissy, Brett Goldberg, who is brand new. We ask that you please give us some grace as we're navigating in a new room tonight, and also the virtual and in-person format. Before we call the first case, I'll share with you some of the general information about the Board of Zoning Appeals and then some ground rules on how we conduct our meetings. The board's powers are prescribed in the Code of Virginia and are set out in further detail in the county's zoning ordinance adopted by the county board. The Board of Zoning Appeals does not have the power to rezone property or to amend the regulations set forth in the ordinance. That authority rests with the county board. This board does have the authority to do 3 things. We can approve use permits to allow modifications of placement requirements of structures on 1 and 2 family lots where there is no option in the zoning ordinance to allow such modifications. We can grant variances from the specific requirements of the zoning ordinance. And we can decide appeals of decisions of the zoning administrator. Now, here are some specific instructions about this evening's hybrid meeting. First of all, please silence your cell phones, and I will do that. Applicants and speakers, if you're attending in person, when you call your case, please move to the table in the back of the room and identify yourself. Please be sure to speak loudly into the ceiling, because that's where the microphones are located tonight. Tonight's meeting is also available to stream via the county website and Teams. If you are attending virtually and lose internet connectivity, please reconnect with us via phone. If you're attending or viewing via Teams, please keep your cell phones and devices muted until you are called upon. Turn off your sound on the other devices around you to minimize interference, and please turn off your camera until you are called upon. When called upon to speak, please turn on your camera and unmute yourself by clicking the microphone icon that is located in the meeting command bar. The moderator cannot unmute you. The chat is active for presenters or board members who need technical assistance only. The meeting chat should not be used for discussion, public comment, questions about agenda items, or requests for more information. All public comments must be shared verbally for the record during the assigned public testimony period. Applicants and speakers, when you are called upon to speak, you will be called upon to speak at a specific time. We requested that all speakers pre-register to speak tonight. If you did not pre-register but wish to speak, there are speaker slips in the back of the room. We'll do our best to accommodate you if there are any additional speakers and time permits. Public comments will take place only during the allotted time frames when called upon. During the public comment, a speaker timer will be displayed on the screen and just on the screen tonight. Please be respectful of the time allotted. Lastly, this is a public forum. Today's meeting will be recorded and posted on the county website. All information associated with today's meeting, whether written or spoken, is subject to the Freedom of Information Act requirements. After your case is heard, you're welcome to stay for the balance of the session or to leave at your convenience. We will not hold it against you if you'd like to continue on with your evening. For tonight's meeting procedures, the staff reports for each case on tonight's agenda can be found on the BZA website. A link to the agenda can be found in the chat section, as well as QR codes on the back table, so you can pull it up on your own electronic device. If you've not seen the report for your case, you may wish to review it before your item is called. There's a separate link in our agenda for supplemental material received after the deadline for the applications. The order of events for our meeting is as follows. First, cases will be called and the board members will ask questions that they have of the county staff. Next, applicants or their representatives will be given an opportunity to make comments to support their application. Then, if there are speakers, they will be called upon at that time. After we hear from speakers for or against the proposal, the board may permit the applicant a brief opportunity to clarify any points. The board may also ask questions of any speakers. We do not permit and will not condone any cross-examination or direct questioning by others. We have deemed the following time limits for applicants and speakers to be sufficient: 5 minutes for applications for use permits and variances, and 3 minutes for speakers representing organizations, 2 minutes for those speaking as individuals. After the board has gathered all the information we need and has discussed the case, we will decide the matter by voting on a motion duly made and seconded. Majority is needed to approve any motion. Any appeal from the decision of this board must be made to the circuit court in accordance with state law. That concludes the introductory remarks. Who is calling cases tonight?
That will be me.
Mr. Bone, please call the first case.
Okay, Lindsay, before I call the first case, I believe that there are 4 cases that you guys are considering for motion of approval to start. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I will read the case numbers and the advertisement language for each. Great. The first case is case number B-11805-22-UP-1, a use permit request by Shelby Schwartz and David King, the owners, to permit a right side setback of 4.5 feet to the rear porch, 4 feet to the eve, instead of 8 feet to the rear porch, 5 feet to the eve as required, regarding a new rear porch to an existing one-family dwelling on a corner lot in the R6 zoning district on the premises known as 1802 North Danville Street in the Lion Village Civic Association. The second case number is case number B-11807-22-UP-1. The use permit request by Deep Kim on behalf of Pablo Lopez Nadikov and Martha Arias, the owners, to permit a setback of 15 feet to an above-ground pool instead of 22 feet as required, and an aggregate setback of 23 feet instead of 30 feet as required, regarding a new above-ground swimming pool in the R20 zoning district on the premises known as 400 Chain Bridge Road within the Arlington Civic Association. The third case for tonight is case for the motion of approval is case number B-11808-22-UP-1, a use permit request by Matt Moynihan on behalf of Emilio Barajas and Teresa Sherper, the owners, to permit a rear setback of 10.1 feet to the addition, 8.6 feet to the eve, instead of 25 feet to the addition, 21 feet to the eve as required, and to permit a rear setback of 18.9 feet to the deck instead of 21 feet to the deck as required, regarding a new one-story rear addition to an existing one-family dwelling in the R6 zoning district, premises known as 4624 13th Street North within the Waycroft Woodlawn Civic Association. The fourth case considered in the group motion of approval is case number B-11809-22-UP-1, a use permit request by Stephen Tinter on behalf of Francis and Whitney Lopez, the owners, to permit a street setback of 17.4 feet to the porch, 17.3 feet to the porch eve, instead of 21 feet to the porch, 19.5 feet to the porch eve as requested, all from South Randolph Street, regarding a new front porch to an existing one-family dwelling in the R6 zoning district on the premises known as 2112 South Randolph Street within the Douglas Park Civic Association. Staff recommendation for all 4 of these cases is to recommend the use permits for approval subject to the conditions listed.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about any of those cases? Anybody like to make a motion? Are there any speakers?
We do have a couple speakers.
If that would hear, right? If you guys are interested in speaking.
We're in support.
Yeah.
Are you guys applicants?
Yeah,
so
we're
good.
good.
Okay. Do you want to speak?
Yeah.
If we have to.
You don't. It's
Okay.
entirely up to you.
No, we're okay.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion?
I move that we approve of the 4 items for consent.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I second that.
Great.
I'm trying to get the numbers ready.
All right. Motion is made by Ms. Clark, seconded by Mr. Kaplan. Is there any further discussion? I will call the roll. Ms. Mallett. You're on mute.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Oh, I changed this for Ms. Freshman. I'm so sorry, Ms. Freshman.
Aye.
Mr. Clark. Mr. Kaplan. I'm all out of choices. I gotta fix this. I changed this for Judy. All right. Mr. Kaplan.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion to grant all of the applications passes 5-0. Good Lord. Okay, I'm gonna get my act together while you read the next.
Yeah. Very good. So you guys are welcome to leave now.
Thank you so
Application
much.
approved. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, the
Thank
next
you.
case on the agenda, and the first case on, that's not part of the group motion of approval, is case number B-11790-22-VA-1, carryover item. The variance request by Eden Whittington on behalf of Gloria Whittington, the owner, to permit a new addition that exceeds 50% of the aggregate floor area of the existing building on a lot that does not meet the lot area and lot width requirements for a semi-detached dwelling in the R27 zoning district, regarding a new rear addition, front addition, and front porch to an existing semi-detached dwelling in the R27 zoning district on the premises known as 832 South Irving Street within the Arlington Heights Civic Association. Staff recommends the board adopt the attached proposed resolution granting the variance request with conditions. Please note that we did receive supplemental material for this application, including additional neighborhood outreach letters.
Okay, board members, any questions for the staff? All right, Mr. Whittington, would you like to speak?
Don't know what this is already talking for. Well, I mean, I guess, we cover all the things that you guys asked us to do?
That is a good question.
I mean, I think it's a new hearing, so I think.
Yeah,
So we got the two, outreach letters on 90th Street, and we submitted them. One was supplemental, because the homeowner was away dealing with family matters, so I wasn't looking at her. And then we did the plans to show that, we did the request to change the setback to meet, I think, 13 feet.
okay.
Yeah, I'll note that staff had asked Mr. Whittington to provide new plats and floor plans to show the revised setback request, which we felt were satisfied.
Okay,
Or for the use permit.
Yes, for both.
Which is-
The same plans apply to
Sure,
both, yes.
That's the subject of the use.
And I guess just, thank you for, meeting our application to better, go with the criteria for the variance.
okay. Does anyone have any questions? Are there any other speakers? Anyone want to make a motion? Okay. The chair can't do anything, so I
I would move that we,
get your questions all together. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Freshman.
I was going to make a motion, but I have to just tell you that both the audio and the visual is a little garbled, so I've turned my sound up as best I can, but I may miss something. But I will make a motion if you wish.
I think Ms. Clark got it.
Okay.
I would move that we have there and 1179-BA-1, subject to the conditions tested.
Anyone want a second?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I could not hear what the motion was.
Approve?
Motion to approve?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I know. Would anyone like to second?
I'll second.
All right. Motion has been made by Ms. Clark, seconded by Ms. Freshman. Is there any further discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I will not be supporting this motion.
Okay. Well, let's take a vote and see where we stand. Is that okay? All right. Ms. Freshman,
Aye.
Ms. Malice,
No.
Ms. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Kaplan.
No.
That's 3-2, right? Oh, I haven't voted. Chair votes aye. The motion passes on a vote of 3-2. Good thing we're all here tonight. We would have had some weirdness with the numbers. All right. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
We still have the use permit, by the way, the related.
Oh,
use
oh,
permit
yeah.
request.
That was the variance, not the use permit.
All right. Mr. Bone, will you call the next case, please?
Yes, and I'll just mention that I will be talking louder because we're hearing in the chat that there's some audio issues. So hopefully me talking louder and more towards the ceiling clears that up for the audience that's participating virtually tonight. So the next case on the agenda is the related use permit for this request. It's case number B-11790-22-UP-1, also a carryover item. This is a use permit request by Ian Whittington on behalf of Gloria Whittington, the owner, to permit a rear setback of 13 feet to the wall and eve of the addition instead of 25 feet to the wall, 21 feet to the eve as required, and to permit a left side setback of 8.3 feet to the wall of the addition and the porch instead of 11 feet as required from the left side property line regarding a new rear addition, front addition, and front porch on an existing semi-detached dwelling in the R27 zoning district on the premises known as 832 South Irving Street in the Arlington Heights Civic Association. Staff recommends the board adopt the attached proposed resolution granting the use permit request with conditions. Please note that we have supplemental material for this case as well, which is the same neighbor outreach letters that apply to the variance.
Great. I don't think you need to speak again, right? Do you want to speak?
No.
Okay. All right. Is there any discussion with the board? Would someone like to make a motion? Can you, Ms. Malice and Ms. Freshman, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. I might need some throat loss in just a little while, but we'll get there.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that the Board of Zoning Appeals approve the attached motion granting use permit B-11790-22-UP-1, subject to the conditions listed.
Second.
Motion has been made by Mr. Kaplan, seconded by Ms. Malice. If there isn't any further discussion, I will call the roll.
I would just like to commend staff and the applicant for working on that redo on the setback.
Wonderful. Ms. Freshman,
Aye.
Ms. Malice,
Aye.
Ms. Clark. Aye. Mr. Kaplan.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, that concludes this matter. Mr. Bone, will you call the next case?
Happy to do so, yes. The next case on our agenda is case number B-11796. Everything right? Sorry. Just gonna double check that. Yes. The next case on our agenda is case number B-11796-22-UP-1. Also a carryover item. This is a use permit request by Skylar Aarons on behalf of 1713 North Cameron Street LLC, the owner, to permit a street setback of 18.5 feet to the building wall, 17.5 feet to the building eave, instead of 25 feet to the wall, 21 feet to the eave as required, and a street setback of 12.8 feet to the porch, 11.8 feet to the porch eave, instead of 21 feet to the porch, 19.5 feet to the porch eave as required, all from North Cameron Street, regarding the construction of a new one-family dwelling in the R6 zoning district on the premises known as 1713 North Cameron Street and the John M. Langston Civic Association. Staff recommends the board adopt the attached proposed resolution granting the use permit request with conditions. Please note that we have supplemental material for this case, including email correspondence from the Civic Association that came in today. I'll also note that I got an email about an hour before this hearing that we can share with the BZA, but it's additional support from a neighbor, and I'll pull up that address now.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bowen, could you repeat what you said about supplemental material?
Yes, we got email correspondence from Jessica Perkins, the property owner, or one of the property owners in this case. She sent email correspondence today, including a note that she had received approval from the Civic Association in January 2022 instead of January 2021, since there was a date typo in the included meeting minutes. And then about an hour ago, I also got an email from Ms. Perkins, including additional neighborhood outreach, indicating support from one additional neighbor.
Could you indicate which neighbor that is?
Yes, just one moment.
He's looking it up
Pulling
right
up the
now.
address.
It's 4933 17th Road
Thank you, Meg.
I'm gonna ask you that one more time.
4933.
4933
Trying to bring up
17th Road North.
the map.
49, I'm sorry, could you, it is really garbled, so if you can speak slowly, 49,
33 17th Road North.
all right. Are there any other letters of support since our last hearing?
The application packet and materials were updated prior to printing. So the application packet from last Friday included materials that were not seen in December. That included a petition of support, I believe at the very least. I can check what else.
The letter of support I have in the packet is identical to the one from our December hearing.
Yes, the petition of support, I believe, is similar. And then we also included an email from the Civic Association as well as meeting minutes from the Civic Association.
So that means that we're still missing quite a few. We're missing all the neighbors that adjoin this property.
I believe there are some adjoining properties and properties across the street where letters have not been provided, yes.
So I don't see anything from 1721, 1717, 4935, 4939. Those are all, I'm looking at all the properties that touch on this property and I don't see.
Ms. Malice,
Go ahead, if I'm missing them.
in the supplemental, there's an additional letter of support.
In the supplemental. And that.
What's the
yeah,
address?
That was 4933.
No, there's a chart,
There's a,
On- right? There's a map and a chart.
okay, that's what I'm missing.
Page 3 and 4 of the supplemental, I think.
Ms. Malice, we would typically give you a printed copy of the supplemental materials in person, but since you're not here in person, you would have to find that online.
Yeah, no, I did go online. Oh, okay, I see it now. I see it now. Okay,
There's,
All right.
and there's a tax map that explains the now down to 2 that are missing.
all right.
Which two?
4939,
And 4945.
yeah, which is the adjacent.
4939 and 4945 are missing. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, and there's a bit of an explanation on the page, on the material submitted.
Did not raise concerns, but did not follow through with signature. Is that what I'm reading?
Yeah. That's for B.
And
So that's 4939. We got 33. We got C. Right.
This is the neighbor that comes to
Yeah, so Meg is circling on the screen. Email letter today.
that we got.
That was the 4933.
4933, I believe.
Yeah. So A on the map is 4945, and they didn't want to weigh in because it's a county employee, but doesn't like the building height. I think we do need to factor in that it's a county employee and that they didn't want to weigh in.
Which address was that for?
4945.
45, okay. This 4933 is also a county employee.
Oh. Only just because you can understand them not wanting to weigh in a little. To not fault the applicant for that one. Even though it's the adjacent neighbor, which is difficult.
they have an objection.
Yeah, right. But they didn't voice it exactly.
Sounds like they're looking crazy.
All right, does anyone have any other questions for the board, for the staff? All right. Is the applicant with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you on video?
Yes.
We don't see you.
I see myself.
There you, I think
There we
you're
go.
coming up now. There you go.
Okay.
Hello. All right,
Hi.
would you like
How's
to
everyone?
speak? Good.
Yes, I just wanted to read we already had, this is a carryover. One of the big focuses was neighbor outreach. The homeowner did their best original, just it's been really difficult. After the last hearing, her and her husband did go out and reach out to some of the other neighbors. As you can see, we've got all but two. As far as I know, yes, there was one neighbor who, didn't necessarily agree, but I don't know if they were going to come to the hearing and object officially or not. But other than that, there was basically just signatures we couldn't obtain. From what I understand from the owner, the Civic Association has reaffirmed their same approval that they had about a year ago. They did reaffirm it again just to update that approval. But other than that, we really didn't have much to add. The board said they really wanted us to go out there and try to get some more feedback from the neighbors, and I think we did. Obviously, if we got some signatures from the owner, so basically that's where we're leaving it. So.
Okay. Board members, do you have any questions for the applicant or the homeowner?
I have a question for the applicant. On the petition of letter of support, what's the date for 1s through 9?
I'm sorry.
What are the date of the signatures for items 1 through 9 on the letter of support in our supplemental material?
I believe the new signatures are from this past week.
But are 1 through 9 the same ones from last month?
Yes, I mean, they are. The question is
I
when were
guess
they
I'm not
gathered?
Yeah.
Right. My memory is that from last week we were concerned about the staleness of those signatures of 1 through 9 because this application was relatively old, if my memory is correct.
The application was it was filed, I think, in the summertime, and then, like I said, they recently got the other signatures. The original signatures were probably from the summertime, I think, maybe in the fall, not too far before the hearing, I don't believe. So it's I don't want to say somewhat recent, but in the last few months. I think the big question on timing was the Civic Association because they had a misprinted date or there's some confusion on that. And that's why they reconfirmed their approval just to kind of update that date. I believe that was the big date issue from last hearing.
Anyone else have any questions? Any other speakers? I believe the owner is on. Did you want to speak? Okay, go ahead. You can come off mute. You're still on mute.
Sorry.
I don't think you
Did
can
someone
unmute.
ask me something? I'm sorry.
No, I think the owner is on and was trying to speak. She's gonna try one more
Jessica,
time.
you're going to have to hit that speaker.
Jessica, we also have a virtual call-in option. I can send you an email with the telephone number, and you can join via telephone as well. I'll send you an email now.
Someone's-
I totally sympathize with her. This happened to me a few times.
Yeah, we've all been there. Well, while we're trying to figure that out, do any board members have any questions?
I guess, whoops, my only question is just to affirm that the project is being built by right, except for the porch.
Correct. Essentially, yeah, we're building it by right, because it's over the original foundation in the front. I believe there's like an inch or two different encroachment just because of the siding's different. But even the porch that's being rebuilt in the front is currently closer to the front property line, and we are demoing that and even making it further from the property line. So, in a sense, yes, the main structure is being built by right, and the front porch is actually being reduced from where it currently is.
Mr. Bowen, do you agree with that? I mean, that it is a by right project?
Other than the front porch and the front building wall, the side setbacks and the rear setbacks are not problematic, nor are the height or coverage figures.
Okay.
And the eaves also of the main building roof line and the porch roof.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Did the owner wish to speak? I see she left.
Yeah, I think she's still trying to.
I did send the property owner, Jessica,
Oh,
an
they said,
email
they said 1 second.
with the phone number to call, so we may hear them by phone shortly.
You're okay, you're okay. Hey. Let her in. All right.
Can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Very good.
Thank God. Okay. All of the signatures are current. None of them are over like 2 months old. So the first 9 were obtained literally like 3 days before our initial hearing in December.
Excellent.
Great. All right, do you want to say anything else, or are you good?
I mean, I just want to make sure it's understood that everything is current. My civic association is in full support. My neighbors want to see the construction continue because I've made promises to them to make repairs to their property as well on 17th Street in particular. I don't know if there's any other questions you guys have for us, but I just wanted to make sure the record was correct in that regard.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
No problem. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
First, I want to thank the applicant for the supplemental for the Langston Civic Association update, because that was an original concern. So that typo was cleared up, was very helpful. That being said, if no board members have any more questions, Ms. Gant.
Ms. Freshman.
I think the neighborhood input is better, and I understand that the project is largely by right. But I raised the point in December that I felt as if making an exception for the porch was not something that I supported, particularly because the neighbors elsewhere on the street have a significant and I presume legal setback from the street. So I don't find any change in that regard. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody want to make a motion? Okay.
I move that that we approve the attached proposed resolution approving the use permit B-11796-22-UP-1, subject to the conditions as listed.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Clark, seconded by Mr. Kaplan. Is there any further discussion?
Madam Chair, I just want to say I see Ms. Freshman's point, and I think my vote is in this case is determinative on the current porch. The current porch is staying in the same position. If this were a new construction where it wasn't the exact same footprint on an existing foundation, my vote might be different, but I'm inclined to support it. I just wanted to say that for the record. But I definitely see that point.
All right, I'm going to call the roll. Ms. Freshman?
No.
Ms. Malice?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Kaplan?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion to grant the application passes 4-1. Congratulations.
Thank you to the board.
Thank
Have a good
you
day,
so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck with your project.
Thank you. Goodbye.
That concludes this matter. Mr. Bowen, would you please call the last case?
Yes, the next case on the agenda, case B-11805-22-UP-1 motions. So we'll move on to the subsequent case, which is case number B-11806-22-UP-1, a use permit request by John and James Zimmerman, the owners, to permit a left side setback of 8.1 feet to the wall, 4.1 feet to the window well, instead of 10 feet to the wall, 6 feet to the window well as required, a right side setback of 5 feet to the wall and eave instead of 10 feet to the wall, 6 feet to the eave as required, and a total aggregate side yard width of 12.6 feet instead of 18 feet if required, regarding a one-story rear and side addition with a new window well and a deck to an existing one-family dwelling in the R6 zoning district on the premises known as 2234 North Columbus Street within the Old Dominion Civic Association. Staff recommends that the board adopt the attached proposed resolution granting the use permit request subject to the conditions listed. We do not have any supplemental material or speakers for this case.
Does anybody have any questions for the board? Oh, for the staff. It's not like I did this a bunch tonight. Oh, Ms. Malice, would you like to say something? You're on mute.
There is no additional neighborhood outreach that has arrived since the package was put together.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Are the applicants here to speak?
Yes.
Welcome.
I wasn't looking either. I was looking at.
I know. Would you like to speak?
Sure.
Go for it. The floor is yours.
So we greatly appreciate coming before the board and very much appreciate Ms. Ryan's help in this effort in getting this to this point. We're 25-year residents in Arlington and we're in the aging place, so we're very excited to move on.
Does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
I will spare our virtual participants and I will ask what I know will be asked is the rear outreach to 2217 Culpeper Street. I think we were missing that outreach in the package we received.
Okay.
And it's a rear addition, so it's probably the most affected neighbor.
Well, the rear addition goes on to a parking lot and to a new fire station. So there's actually no neighbor immediately behind us except for a parking lot and the new addition. There are houses that county bought out and now the firemen stay there. So there really is no rear neighbor. Just
So is 2217 owned by the county/fire?
That is correct. It's
Yeah.
owned by
Okay.
the Arlington County Board. The
Oh,
fire station
and
right
they
here.
haven't complained.
This,
right. Okay, that's a check.
This probably could have been put in the consent motion if we had done this.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Do our virtual board members have any questions?
So those are no longer residences.
Yes.
Is that what I understand? Okay.
Ms. Freshman?
If there are no speakers, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Any speakers? You guys just in support? Great. Ms. Freshman, the floor is yours.
I move the Board of Zoning Appeals approve the attached proposed resolution approving use permit V-11806-22-UP1, subject to the conditions listed.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Freshman, seconded by Ms. Clark, by Ms. Malice.
Yes.
Any further questions or debate? I will call the roll. Ms. Freshman,
Aye.
Ms. Malice,
Aye.
Ms. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Kaplan.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion to grant the application passes 5-0. Congrats.
Yay!
Enjoy aging in place.
Thank you very, very much.
That concludes this matter.
I move approval of the minutes of Wednesday, December 14th, 2022.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Freshman, seconded by Ms. Malice. Ms. Freshman,
Okay,
Ms.
go
Freshman,
ahead.
Ms. Freshman,
Aye.
Ms. Malice,
Aye.
Ms. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Kaplan.
Aye.
Chair will not vote because I was not there.
You
Motion
abstain.
I abstain.
Yes.
The motion to pass the minutes passes 4-0.
401.
401.
Madam Chair.
Before you guys adjourn, if you're about to make a motion to adjourn, we do
No.
have the, okay.
We're not.
We got you.
We're ready.
Okay, very good.
I got it up front.
Let's fix our calendar.
Madam Chair, I move to make some proposed changes to our meeting calendar for 2023. I move to change our Wednesday, February 8th meeting to Tuesday, February 7th, our Wednesday, March 8th to Tuesday, March 7th, our Wednesday, April 12th to Tuesday, April 11th, and lastly, our Wednesday, September 13th to Tuesday, September 12th meetings.
What was the last one?
Wednesday, September 13th to Tuesday, September 12th.
9/12. Okay.
Yeah,
9/12, yep.
Oh, look at this beautiful chart on the screen.
Yeah.
This is lovely.
Meg's handiwork, very lovely.
Nice
right?
job, Meg. I love it.
Oh, we don't get to see it. Oh, now I see it. Excellent. I'm taking a screenshot of that.
Would have been easier.
Yeah, Meg had the idea for the strike through and the red text, so let's give her credit. where
Beautiful.
credit's due.
It is beautiful. All right. Anyone want a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion is made by Mr. Kaplan, seconded by Ms. Malice. I will call the roll. Ms. Freshman,
Aye.
Ms. Malice,
Aye.
Ms. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Mr. Kaplan.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We have changed our hearing date.